Bilingual schools is now a preferential choice of parents, thanks to the advantages in applying foreign language into the teaching and learning curriculum with international standard infrastructure. One of the highlights of this model is Singapore International School (SIS), operating in Vietnam since 2000, being ranked at top 10 qualified bilingual school in Vietnam. Under the prestigious educational system of Kinderworld Group, SIS has presented at many major cities of Vietnam, such as Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang, Bình Dương, and Vũng Tàu. Sharing Vietnam Today wants to go deep into the educational objectives and teaching methods of bilingual schools, leading to a more comprehensive picture for our parents in choosing appropriate schools for their children. Hello, and you're watching Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 Net Viet. Today in our talk, we shall welcome the supervisory principals of Singapore International School System in Vietnam to learn more about the educational environment that is still new to Vietnam and cause many curiosity and consideration from our parents in choosing the schools for their children. And how would they combine the Vietnamese curriculum with English subject? And I hope that this show will provide you all of the answer towards your curiosity. Thank you, Ms. Janet, for coming to Sharing Vietnam today. So with SIS been operating in Vietnam for more or less than 12 years, how would your curriculum and your vision probably be different from the beginning until this present time?
No, we have a very strong curriculum with the Singapore curriculum, so we've maintained the Singapore curriculum. Our other subjects from the English program are always under review to improve. So we have a very strong study pathway that enables our children to move through the year levels and have a very strong curriculum. I think as we expect the children to maybe study abroad, study in university overseas, it's important they develop a holistic view of life so they can be successful in not only their work life but also in their personal life.
We know that SIS has just attained the ranked top 10 in the qualified bilingual schools of Vietnam. So to achieve this qualification, how would SIS coordinate and combining between Vietnam's and English curriculum? And I know that your school ranked from kindergarten until junior high. Is the percentage between Vietnamese and English subjects being differ from years to years?
Yes, we have a very strong curriculum in our schools. Students are able to study the MOET curriculum, the Vietnamese curriculum, and as well they spend half the day studying international subjects. And so they have a very broad-based education that enables them to graduate with the Vietnamese curriculum and also graduate with qualifications that enable them to study around the world. So they spend from year 1 to year 8 or year 9, they spend 50%, so half a day with the Vietnamese curriculum and then half a day with the international curriculum. But once our Vietnamese students finish year 9 with the Vietnamese curriculum, they then move into an international program, so it's all day international. We do the Cambridge IGCSE program over 2 years, so students would then move into either Cambridge AS and A levels, or they can do a Cambridge, a global assessment certificate. And both of those qualifications enable them to go into university.
So for example, if the student has just attained SIS and they would want to, after that, move to a public school or an international school, would they have any difficulty in transferring from SIS to a different system?
No, because they don't have any trouble because our students still study the MOET curriculum. So they are studying the Vietnamese curriculum as would children in a public school. But our children obviously have better English because they spend half the day with foreign teachers learning an English course as well.
And with a wide range of extra activities and your innovative curriculum, what are the benefits that SIS students learn and receive from your school?
We try to develop the whole child, so we focus very much on their academic achievements, but we also provide an after-school program that develops other talents that students might have. And so each of our schools develops their own program. They revolve around sport or music or cultural activities, for example art. SIS here at Van Fook has a very strong community service program. So we're trying to teach our children social responsibility. So the student council is very active in working out ways they can support other children who aren't as fortunate as they are.
So in the next reportage, why don't we take a short break into looking at why bilingual school is a beneficial selection for our students and also for parents. With a focus on re-innovating Vietnam's education system, International Bilingual School is the typical example and model that public school would learn from and innovate their curriculum, since there are additional courses of foreign languages and many useful extracurricular activities, hence providing students with space to develop comprehensively. However, there are still many concerns from the parents whether it would worth the price of sending their kids to these schools.
Mình cũng hiểu rằng một môi trường giáo dục tốt thì chắc chắn là phải có một cái chi phí nó phải phù hợp. Tuy nhiên thì cái học phí hiện nay ở trường thì cũng là cao hơn so với cái mức thu nhập bình quân của người Việt Nam. Và tôi nghĩ nếu như mà cái học phí có một cái sự điều chỉnh để nó phù hợp hơn với cái thu nhập của người Việt Nam thì sẽ thu hút được nhiều hơn nữa các học sinh và các em sẽ có được cái cơ hội được học ở một môi trường giáo dục tốt như thế này.
Nevertheless, there is no deny that students of bilingual schools having a better English communication with confidence in updated knowledge and learn instrumental soft skills. Besides, the facilities at these schools are of international standards with small classes, so the students are more focused and consulted specifically. This model are provided many useful lessons for public schools in Vietnam to learn from bilingual schools' experience, international approach, improve on the status quo of overload and unbalanced curriculum and outdated teaching methods, which are the issues presented in Vietnamese schools.
My school is awesome. The thing that I like the most is the teachers. They are very nice to me. The second thing that I like is the gym. It's a great place to play. Our school have big open space to go and play. And I like to play with my friends too.
Các con thì ngoài cái việc là tiếng Anh thì các con được trau dồi rèn luyện thường xuyên, các con có cơ hội được tiếp xúc với tiếng Trung, với rất nhiều môn học nghệ thuật liên quan đến thể thao, và đặc biệt là nhà trường đã cho các con một cái cách để các con có những cái kỹ năng mềm, các con đã được phát triển, các con biết cách tư duy, biết cách thể hiện mình và biết cách ứng xử với mọi người xung quanh, thầy cô giáo cũng như là với bạn bè.
Nowadays, with Vietnam being integrated into the global economic, we know that parents are seeking for better and better environment for their children's education. However, with bilingual school, how that lines between public school, international school, there are many questions to be answered. So what do you think is the expectations of parents when sending their kids to your school?
I'm very sure our parents expect a very strong teaching and learning program. They expect teachers who are well qualified, teachers who care about their children, and teachers who work hard to make sure the children work to their best ability and achieve very good results. Parents also expect communication from the school. In bilingual schools, parents are also expecting a very strong English program, so they want their children to understand English so they can communicate with international students, and at the end of the day to graduate and be able to study in universities around the world.
Are these the advantage of bilingual school over, the system of public school and international school?
Our parents are happy that we retain Eastern values in our students. They're retaining all their Vietnamese curriculum and qualifications and culture, but they're also having an appreciation of the West. And so I think they get the best of both worlds.
We know that in Vietnamese students that they often happen with this common situation when the students are extremely good at math or science, but however they completely lost interest in literature or history and vice versa. So how would your innovative approach and methods in bilingual schools would improve on that situation?
Yes, our students study a range of different subjects, and so we don't focus on one, but our core subjects would be English, mathematics and science, and so they are very important subjects for our students to study. The other subjects that we offer develop skills in ICT, music, physical education, and so these are important skills for students to have as they go through school. So it's developing those soft skills that the students need to have, their ability to work as a team, to be flexible, to be responsible, to be independent. All those skills are very important if our students want to study in universities.
Not only me, but many people like about international school is their wide range of social activities, extracurriculum, and I think that is still something that Vietnamese public schools still lacking of. What about bilingual school?
I think we're providing, in our Kinderworld schools, we're providing a broad range of opportunities for our students to develop their own individual talents and their strengths.
And to sum up the program, what is your assessment about your Vietnamese students? Because I know in bilingual school you have international student with Vietnamese student. What is the capabilities of the student, of the Vietnamese students, and what are their advantage and what are their shortage? So from that they can build and improve on.
Our Vietnamese students are very hardworking. They have a great capacity to study and to learn, and I find that very admirable. I really admire the way their work ethic and the way they are very driven to achieve and to succeed their very best results. Our Vietnamese students find it very easy to learn another language. I've watched our children in kindergarten and they pick up English very quickly, and because they're immersed in the international school, they hear English every day. What we are trying to do in our schools is to build on that ability to learn with higher order thinking skills, so that we get our children to think critically about issues around the world, to think critically about social issues, environmental issues that impact on their lives as well as their families.
What about the parents? What are your advice towards them in helping the student engage in bilingual environment better?
I think it would be for them to be able to be receptive to new things, to be able to welcome new people into their world, to be able to communicate. It's difficult for Vietnamese families to work on English, of course, but I think it would be a willingness to learn about other countries.
Thank you, Ms. Janice, for all of your sharing today, and I think some of your answer would be very helpful for the parents to get the insights about bilingual school in Vietnam.
Thank you.
And that's the end of Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching us. And about the title of our program today, Bilingual School, Best of Both Worlds, I leave the questions for you to answer. However, the program hopes that will bring you insightful picture about bilingual school in Vietnam in order to choose the best appropriate environment for your children's education. Any questions and concern, please email at sharingvietnam@vtc.vn. And for the last minute, please take a look at some of the bilingual schools in other countries that have similar education system to Vietnam. Thank you and see you again.